Surprise! That was so great, Pixie of cameras! Because in this RH Jam, we will be talking about our life's purpose, the life path we've taken or that we've believed we needed to take, and how can we discover the one that is truly the life we're meant to be living. To help us with this topic today, we have Oliver Sifkovits, a Reconnective Healing foundational practitioner who will be sharing his life's journey from following a mission that wasn't his true happy to recognizing and following his true life's purpose effortlessly. We also will be sharing with you an exclusive clip from our upcoming interview with Dr. Eric and Jillian, and exclusive information about 2 upcoming live events, including, yes guys, RH Yoga is coming back in force, and we have our last and final global Reconnective Healing gathering coming up. All of this and more in today's RH Jam. Well, hello and welcome back. And if this is your first time here at the RH Jam, I am Ana Clavell. And every week, not only do we talk about everything and anything Reconnective Healing, we also deal with what we call the pixies of the technical equipment. And today, it seems the camera is the it thing. And that's okay. We flow in this program. We love to also cover topics that are important to all our viewers. They are the ones, you guys who are right here with us today. You are the ones who are inspiring what we talk about and what is it that we are going to be discussing, because your comments, your questions are what inspire each of our episodes. And I want to greet everybody here. Hello, everyone here in the chat. Wait for it. There it is. Ooh, it appeared magic on the screen. Hello, Lexi, Alexandra, and Cecilia Sams, our amazing chat monitors and beautiful people helping us out here with the questions and comments. Welcome you all. Let me see who's here. I spotted Kimberly and Sally, Maria Luisa. I see as well VS, what is your first name? You just type it and I'll know. Abdullah, welcome. Soren, of course, hello. Dagmar, Stevie, I love that you guys are here. Welcome, Monica. Crystal Reveal, hello. Alejandro, bienvenido. Today we have an amazing program. And yes, Katharina and Alina, this is going to be a very in-depth look at our relationship with what life purpose is, might mean. It definitely has a different meaning to each of us. And that's what one of the things we aim to bring a little bit, shed a little bit of light on that. And this is one of the many topics that, you know, we love to touch on because you send us the idea for it. And seriously, guys, we have so many more things coming down the pipes here at the Reconnection. I can only encourage you to subscribe to this channel. That way you will always know what's coming up next, when is it happening. You'll never miss a new episode or a premiere like we're having this Saturday. Plus you'll also know anything and everything of an updating that happens on a weekly basis. Because right now we have 3 new series, more are coming, and we really want your input on these. So by subscribing, you'll always know. When you like the videos, we know you want more of these. And last but not least, when you share, we are sharing more than videos. We're sharing these frequencies with the entire planet. Any viewer, anytime that watches any of our videos, they come in contact with this amazing gift of the frequencies of Reconnective Healing. So let's start taking a look at this amazing topic of life's purpose. Now, when we started researching this one, inspired by so many of your own suggestions and commentaries, the first thing that really perhaps comes to all of us is that, finding that meaning in our life. What is the thing, as I heard beautiful Marcela Barbado share with us in the RH Jam in Espanol, what is it that makes us get out of the morning? What is it that makes us feel so joyful and allows us to achieve things so effortlessly? And here is perhaps one of these core concepts that do not need a lot of definition for ourselves, because there's a difference perhaps between what we think is our life's purpose between that and how we feel about what life purpose may mean to us. I really love the image of this guy standing here, looking at perhaps his idea of what the perfect moment for him is. So, what is the joy of him being part of the everything, or just knowing that he's standing on that rock at exactly the time that he needed to stand on that rock? That's part of understanding our life's purpose, is that where is it that are we in our life plan, in the path that we've chosen for ourselves, right? And here's the thing: how many of us want or have wanted to follow this calling, the calling that perhaps this guy is answering by being here on the rocks looking at this beautiful horizon? How many times have we felt we wanted to answer this call, yet we end up doing with our lives something that we feel perhaps pushed to do, or perhaps we feel that we have no choice about doing for whatever reasons that come up? Maybe we're taking on jobs and careers that fulfill so many levels of what we feel are necessary in our lives, that somehow we give them the tag of, okay, life purpose. I equate my life purpose with my career, the choices that I've made in my life, and perhaps one of the things that may happen is that they are not truly compatible, because sometimes some of these choices we make out of whatever is happening in our lives, and we feel that whatever opportunity comes, whether our instinct tells us this is the one for you or not, we feel compelled to take it because maybe a voice of authority made it sound so important that we needed to do this, that's what we've ended up doing, or because our peers were doing something similar and we felt, well, maybe my dream, my goal is not on par with what everybody else is doing. So perhaps by comparing ourselves to what other people were following in their own paths, we've changed our own, and we changed it, and we created a whole new concept of what our life path needs to be. Life purpose, and I'm going to go on a limb here, but life purpose perhaps has nothing to do with having goals or achieving things, of being successful or going to A to B. Perhaps that's part of what becomes a life plan. But when we talk about life purpose, it is just that purpose of life. It's like more on the level of that which is truly your essence, and the understanding of where is it that we come from and what we came here to do on a purpose. You see, not that we are imposing a purpose for being here or creating a story for being here. Is more the remembering, the recognizing that we came here on a purpose, and maybe I have to say, maybe it's not comfortable after a while to retake this conversation with ourselves. Maybe we have become very used to our routines and our habits and what we are calling our life path or our life purpose or our life mission or the goals we've set for ourselves, whether it's career-wise or family-wise. We all do this. We all set benchmarks for ourselves. By the time I'm here, this is what I would like to do. And by the time I'm there, this is what I will have. It's a bit of that conversation about manifestation, which we tackled a few RH Gems ago with the amazing Jillian Fleer. But to bring it back to what we're talking now, perhaps we are becoming a little bit reticent, or we have become reticent about even undertaking this conversation with ourselves again, because maybe we're afraid that it'll be a difficult and uncomfortable thing to do. Maybe we've become too set in our ways, perhaps. Well, a lot of you, as myself, we're finding ourselves in a global situation in which we are mostly all of us, all of humanity, experiencing something very new to these generations that are right here on the planet. We're experiencing a global sort of lockdown, a global personal isolation moment. And in that, many of us find ourselves with idle hands, in the meaning that we are no longer part of the rat race we've been experiencing when we go to work, get up in the morning, you have the routine, you got to do this, you got to do that, but this time I have to be here. And that becomes the blending of one day into the other. That has come to a stop. It has been interrupted. And I would like to say that it has been interrupted for a benefit, because it may be giving us the amazing opportunity to examine precisely what is it that we truly are doing with the lives we're living. Are we living with the purpose, with a purposefully action of coming here to earth in whatever fashion that we came here to live this life that we're in right now? And Oliver Sifkovits is going to join us, and he's going to tell us his own personal story, which I think you're going to find super powerful, because in his discovery, he's gone from understanding very well and living by knowing what goals are, being a person who is an overachiever, and then in an epiphany discovering something bigger, much more. And that I think so many of us will resonate with. Because this is a topic that needs to kind of sit in with us, and I want us to kind of like start thinking about questions we may have for Oliver, because he'll love to answer all of your questions. I want to see if anybody else here wants to share their own understanding of that makes you know that you are here and you are in that being of your life's purpose. So, yes, we love you, Jillian Fleer. Yay! Of course we do! She's an example of reconnective healing woman in this society. Super powerful. 100% agreed. Lexi says, what are we doing with the lives we are doing? We are following our passion. Exactly. Maybe passion has a lot to do with it. Perhaps it's even bigger than that. But we're going to let Oliver tell us more about it. First, I'm going to share a super short, super funny clip from the interview that's coming up this Saturday, this premiere with Dr. Eric and Jillian, where we're going to be talking about another topic I know you guys love a lot, the unexplained phenomena that happens around healing.
In Reconnective Healing, that energy, light, and information is the language of healing itself, which is a wordless language. So it's sort of like math in a certain sense is considered a language of the universe, because it allows us to understand many things as they develop, as they exist, as they expand, and the roles they play. Science does that in different ways through measurements, using some math and using the language of English. And yet Reconnective Healing seems to have a language that communicates the healing without words, and therefore with a more expansive understanding of the communication, which often demonstrates itself in phenomena, which brings us back to the words of trying to understand what the hell went on.
You gotta love this guy's sense of humor. He is so funny, and it's a really fun, in-depth interview that we're premiering this Saturday at 10:30 a.m. And if you notice, we moved our premieres to 10:30 because yoga is coming back at 9, and I'll have more information about that. Katharina, she has something to share. She's saying, I always had a strong sense of purpose and creation, but I think I most express my purpose when I do not think, plan, or assume that I know what I have to do. That's a beautiful observation, Katharina. And it's something that, yes, exactly. Maybe that's a discussion we need to have here. Life's purpose perhaps is not about thinking or setting goals. It's about knowing that we came here on purpose. And maybe it's listening to that, right? But we'll have more about that coming up now that we're bringing Oliver Sifkovits to join us. Well, hello, Oliver.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Ana.
Welcome to the RH Jam. It's such a joy to have you here. Guys, I met Oliver for the first time in our Costa Rica retreat. I have to tell you, it was a magical experience. Oliver brought so much and continues to bring so much. I know that if you're part of our Sunday gatherings, Oliver has amazing stuff to share, and he has he has quite a life adventure that he'll be talking about today to us, right, Oliver?
Exactly.
So listen, when we discuss this a little bit, one of the things that really stands out to me is that you are a person that I know goals and benchmarks of being so prominent in your life. I mean, and perhaps we can start by you telling us a little bit about yourself. Tell us a little bit about you, what you've done, your career choices, before we start talking in earnest about life's purpose.
Cool. So I've always been very strongly involved in sports and fitness, and it's been basically a very, very central part of my life. I used to be a semi-professional soccer player, and my dream was always to be professional and play at the very highest level. That didn't quite work out, and then I moved into coaching, and then my big goal was to work as a professional soccer coach. Yeah. Um, and by the age of, I would say, 20 or 21, there was something inside me that woke up, that came to the fore, where I kind of felt there is another dimension to my life, and another quality, but I couldn't answer it back at that time, what that quality was. So for most parts of my professional life, I would say I had always been very, very purpose, goal, results driven. And I had discovered, after all those years, that maybe this is actually what is standing in my own way, and haven't found really a different quality, a better sort of experience in my professional life that meant so much to me. So the day I learned about reconnective healing, and having since being involved with the work, was that my the way I viewed life, and especially my professional life, was that I've gotten rid of having or trying to find a purpose in life. So purpose to me is very goal orientated. Yeah, it's a mental concept that is there in the future. It can be an achievement, it can be of materialistic nature, it can be of personal success, whatever it is. However, it is a mental concept. And I have discovered, since being introduced to reconnective healing and having worked as a practitioner, is that the main thing we need to learn and understand is to basically get out of our own way and let everything, all the opportunities that present themselves to us every moment in our life, really let them happen and give our life a different quality. So I would say I have shifted in my reconnective healing experience from focusing or even looking for a life purpose to more what is really giving meaning to my life. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, my native language is German, and there's another word for meaning. If you translate it, it's called sense content. Okay, so a sense, something makes sense, and then there's content. Okay, so I found that this is for me has given much more value, because if we look at life and the meaning of life, the sense content, it describes that if it's a content, it's already contained in our life, it's already there, and we just need to allow ourselves to open the box, and here we go, here's a life that we can experience to our fullest. So that's been the biggest shift for me, going away from a goal-orientated, purpose-orientated life approach to a more meaning-orientated life approach that helps me to add different types of quality to the process and every day of my life.
I love that secondary, that other meaning of the word And this concept in German, this opening up and opening the box and having this be present and come out for you. Let me ask you something. In that, when you recall the Oliver that was goal oriented, can you give us like perhaps a concrete example of something that you would have tackled in a certain way before, and how is the same situation comes up now? How does it feel for you now when it comes to setting up goals, or just listening to your instinct and what's coming through for you to really be doing?
So a very specific example I can give you is I've been working as a practitioner of capoeira, which is a Brazilian martial art form, for about 10 years. And it's probably one of the things that gives most meaning to my life and has since I started. Before Reconnective Healing and when I started, my approach to this art form was quite, I would say, analytical, so mind-based, mind-driven. And we all know the limitations of our mind. There's only so far that you can explore different opportunities with just your thinking mind. But it felt like I was kind of trapped in like a hamster wheel. It's always keeping spinning and always on the same spot and couldn't go really further. When I discovered Reconnective Healing and started actively integrating it into my own life, I felt that I experienced in my own movement practice a lot of different qualities and postures and movements that I hadn't discovered before because I was just stuck in my thinking. So by realizing that letting go of things and letting go of a preset plan of how things need to look according to our imagination, it unlocked so many different things, where very often I've had this experience now where you've probably all experienced that before, where it's like, oh wow, yes, that was whatever, it was like cool, we've got this aha moment that we feel that is so precious to us, that we've made a new discovery. So Reconnective Healing has been really, really powerful in my practice to discover new levels, which I probably wouldn't have discovered without it, or with just the analytical mind. So that's one of the examples that just springs to my mind now.
When you bring up that hamster wheel, that's such a powerful image, by the way. You were able to sense that there was something that it was like repeating itself and there was a limit. But how many of us go not even noticing that we're in that hamster wheel? And maybe that's when we start making stories and excuses for being there, or create diversions so that we do not perceive it as much. Perhaps maybe that's even when our body starts breaking down and getting sick, because there may be a conflict between where your instinct is wanting to guide you to and what you are denying it from allowing it to come into being. Is this something that maybe you've experienced, like at some point in any type of conflict between the life purpose that was blossoming in you and what your mind was telling you needed to do?
Definitely. So if I can just tell about one very powerful experience I've had, which was during the Costa Rica retreat back in February. So there was we were given a task and we had to get together in a group of people, and so every person of that group had to be either the facilitator or the recipient of the healing. And the recipient of the healing was given the task just to imagine if there was no end and no beginning, in our life, what difference would that make? What would that mean to us? So during that experience, when I was the recipient of the healing, I felt a really deep, first of all, my mind came in and it's like, okay, I can't really imagine not having an end and a beginning. And then this kind of thought decluttered. And I noticed that, or a realization that came to me was that, well, if there's really no beginning and no end, then we could actually stop looking for a life purpose that we have to fulfill before our life on this plane ends here, and actually start living life. So it was kind of that was kind of a, you can describe it as a conflict moment, but it kind of the conflict dissipated during that experience, which I found really, really powerful. And ever since then, since that experience, it has given my life another different quality.
I'm so happy that you mentioned that exercise. I was privileged to be one of the observers, witnesses to the exercise, and I want to credit 100% Miss Jillian Fleer. It was her inspiration to create this exercise, and it's a powerful thing, guys. When if you take a moment, and just allow yourself to, for a second, let that consciousness that what if there was life without ending? What if there's a concept of start and end are just not there? Then what's there? What's left? And I love what you said, Oliver, and I have to write it down because I really loved it. Instead of looking, we end up looking for a life purpose that we have to fulfill. And I think that's when we end up going into that whole thing of goal-oriented, or as opposed to be process or meaningful oriented. And perhaps it isn't just letting go of having beginnings and ends and goals and things to fulfill, that by just living perhaps is we are fulfilling then our life's purpose, the purpose that the purpose which propelled us to come here in the first place, to live life purposefully in the purpose of being alive. And perhaps that's all there is to it, right? So let me ask you. Sorry, go on. You were going to go for it.
Go ahead. I'm gonna jump right into your question.
Okay, so my question was then, when you found yourself in that epiphany, that you find yourself that clarity, that just by being, that was in itself the purpose, your life's purpose comes through that way. Give us something, maybe like a specific example of something that may have happened recently, like something that you could tell us from this is the way that I was feeling, this is what came up for me, and here is how it manifested itself.
One thing that springs to my mind now is I think it was like 2 weeks ago. I was playing with the frequencies. I allowed myself to feel, and like never before, I was able to let go, like totally, of everything, of any sort of mind-made activity. And what I had realized during that moment, I became aware of so many different things at the same time, which I would have, at first called multitasking. It was like, wow, that's what multitasking must feel like. But it was a very beautiful experience because I became aware of the noise of the traffic outside. I became aware of the pressure of my pillow on the back of my head because I was lying in bed then. I became aware of the sensations of my hands and my fingers, and it was kind of this gentle interplay between all these different impressions that came in at the same time. And for a few moments, it felt like, wow, this is maybe what multidimensionality feels like, yeah? And it really felt that I was totally one with everything else. It felt like there was no separation between me listening and the noise coming from the outside. And after that experience, what came to me like an inner, I would say, message was that, well, maybe that's your new reality now, which I found, like, again, very powerful. And that message just came really, really naturally. And ever since, I felt a lot of different things in my life have felt even more effortless, easier, just more connected, I would say, yeah? And because of that as well, I feel my ability to perceive and to listen and to let things enter my perception has become much, much bigger. Okay, so everything's become, as hard as it is to describe that in words, become more alive, more vivid, and that just feels great.
The whole thing about trying to put these experiences to words, I think there's nobody here in the room who has not experienced that. I mean, we should have just a show to talk about trying to translate and putting to words these amazing experiences. Now you just touch, Oliver, on this whole multidimensionality and our ability, our natural, our organic ability to exist and perceive that our existence everywhere as the moment that we allow to just be to allow ourselves to be. And actually that's exactly what I see Soren wrote. He says, just be it. Yes, when you're just being, right? So what we were saying before, you were telling us about how this epiphany has inspired you to have a switch turn on for you or turned off, whichever way we want to look at it, right? And your experience of what we call life's purpose, it's taking you in a very distinct way down a road of discovery that you're discovering through capoeira and multiple things. Tell us about what is it then, how is it manifesting, what are the things that you're doing now with the coaching? Are you coaching, are you teaching, what are you doing?
So I'm doing different things at the moment. Obviously, because of this very special situation we're having right now, I've moved my work online. So I'm teaching, as one part, I'm teaching fitness classes, but I'm also teaching a class called Movement Flow. And Movement Flow is based on a lot of different principles of capoeira, yeah? And so one of the things that has always given very, very big meaning to my life has been movement. Because for me, movement, as you can see, I always keep moving here. That's why I'm standing. Movement, because movement to me is life. And if I can make a little connection now to how Reconnective Healing has added quality to this, is I'm experiencing different things in my movement practice that are, I would say, are beyond the five senses that we normally have, the feeling, the understanding. So this class is called Movement Flow, and it's a very gentle class. And I think it's really a very beneficial class for the time quality we're living in at the moment, which is to create this energetic yet very gentle and smooth way of expressing our physical reality.
So and I have a little clip of you in action that I'm gonna share with you guys because it's super awesome. Let me just play it for you real quick. Wow, Oliver, that looks super fun. It feels like you're just following the flow and the flow is taking you. So it's super. I can see why that could be like for people who are into this type of movement and whatnot. That may be something that they may want to check it out. I think I've put in actually there's a link to Oliver's YouTube channel, so you can catch a lot of his stuff there. And of course, I have a link so you can ask him questions and contact him directly as well. He's always willing to share his story. And if there are any other coaches out there who need a little bit of advice, here's a guy who's done all sorts of coaching. He can and will be able to perhaps give you some guidance and at least his 2 cents on any question that you have. We have several comments coming through that are so beautiful, beautiful. Jillian says, awake and eyes open beyond a meditation as we are talking about just being and being alive. And Katharina adds, just living. It's so simple and sometimes so difficult because life is never isolated, is it? It's always interconnected with all these other influences, right? Living is a give and take, is an exchange, a constant exchange. We have a suggestion that we need a new position for a Reconnective Healing translator of frequencies. We'll look into that. I don't know if that's going to work, but we'll give it a try. And we have Maria Luisa saying, let it be free. Jillian says, mesmerizing spirit. And this is about you moving on the screen. Guys, Oliver, you are such a great example of just allowing that voice to come through and the flow to let it take you. And in allowing yourself to do that, you are becoming the flow. You are the flow. It's such a beautiful thing. We need kind of like sometimes to slow it down to smallest bits and pieces that we can see, when in fact it's really one thing, one simple action of being taking place at the same time. Is there anything that you like our audience to know, or a message for them, an exhortation?
Yes, definitely. I would say there is, for every person on this planet, there is a different dimension to our life, to what we usually perceive with our five senses. And really, Reconnective Healing has played such a big part for me in that, to discover that. And I'm just very excited about continuing this journey all the way.
That's gorgeous. And I gotta tell you, Oliver, I knew it. We knew it. You're not off the hooks. Jillian says, one joke, Oliver. So please, for people who do not know Mr. Oliver Sifkovits, he is a master of joke telling. So a joke, please.
You put me on the spot there.
I saw one that you shared with me earlier. I don't know if you want to try that one.
But you know what? It's really not the end of the world if you can't spell Armageddon.
Do the one that you did before for me. Come on. Oh, Fitz,
Which one was that one?
The stairs. Don't let anybody know
Stairs.
anything. The stairs.
All right. Well, just give me a moment. Just go grab something out of the basement, yeah? Then I'll tell the joke.
Okay. He's amazing.
I think I found it.
Awesome. We're waiting for you up here. Oh, you took the elevator. Those apartments in England are so amazing. I mean, all the amenities they have.
Fully equipped. Got everything in place.
Oliver, that was awesome. Listen, I can't wait for you to come back and share with us a little bit more about how your classes are shaping up, or anything else that you want to share with us. Your discoveries are so powerful, because that epiphany of being, as opposed to try to fill your life, to try to fulfill something, may be completely opposite to the fact that we just need to live and be. And you bring such a breath of possibility to this conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anna. Thanks everyone for watching, and have a good probably day, because it's evening here. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Mwah.
Bye.
Oh yeah, we're having him back. I think so. I think you guys definitely would love to have him back. I see that vibrant argument. Melanie is starting her own joke corner here with two old ladies walking to a bar. Yeah. Obviously, this conversation is going to get into jokes, and that's okay. We're going to laugh. If that's what we're going to do, then we are going to laugh. But Jillian brings it home again for us. It's about living with no beginning and no end, and knowing yourself to be without beginning or end, truly puts you into that knowingness that you truly are infinite. If you're infinite, perhaps what we're thinking about of a purpose is what Oliver is talking about, trying to fulfill things because we feel that emptiness, that there is no meaning. And the meaning in itself is really just by being and living and listening to our instinct, which always keeps us connected to that multiple reality, perception of reality that Oliver was able to perceive and so many of us perceive. So guys, we have a busy weekend coming ahead again, which is awesome. We have, as I promised, yoga class is starting again this Saturday, but it's different this time, guys. Kelly is actually packaging 4 of them. It's 4 Saturdays because they're going to be, it's basically more than the beautiful samplers that he's been doing. This is going to be now like a real class, a real progression from A to D, which I think would be the 4th Saturday, A, B, C, D. Yeah, D is the 4th. So that I invite you to check on the link that I put here below to visit and find out more about the program. It's going to be amazing. I know a lot of people here have already signed up. I'm signed up. And then on Saturday, right immediately, you don't need to even get out of your yoga clothes. Just go get a bit of water and go to the restroom, run back. And let's do this amazing premiere with Dr. Eric and Jillian. We're going to be talking about a subject and a topic that I know you guys love. Unexplained phenomena in healing and healthcare, and how do we even try and explain the unexplainable, right? So that's going to be quite the interview. That's going to be at 10:30. Then guys, on Sunday, it's going to be our last Reconnective Healing Global Gathering. It's a save the link. I've put it down here. Save it. Let's meet on Sunday. Let's share our experience. It's going to be a beautiful, beautiful finale to these 4 powerful weeks that we've had together. Solomon is going to be right front and center in the discussion on Sunday. And please know that this is not the end of our live meetings that we're doing online. More are coming. But this is for this cycle. It's just for this cycle of the RH Global Gathering. This will be the last one. Plenty more coming down the pipes, as I said, guys. Plenty more. Trust us. We are hard at work here at the Reconnection. And for those of you who have not heard, the Solomon Study Group started in earnest yesterday. It was amazing. Oh my word. It stirred up these perhaps, I don't know, Jungian collective recollection and memories of who we are, where we come from, because what I saw was a room on fire upon just discussing some of the topics that just come up in the topic that was selected for the program yesterday. Listen, if you missed that one, what they decided to do at the Reconnection, because so many people could not sign up on time for it, is that we're opening the process of registering for it and subscribing. And what will happen is that you will join us for the second one, which is next Wednesday, and receive a replay for the one that happened yesterday. But this is, from what my understanding, up to what I know today, is going to be just limited to these 2 first ones. So take advantage of this. And again, my camera loves to do this. Yeehaw! Pixie's coming to play. Let's see if it wants to come back. And it did! It's magic! What can I tell you? We live in a magical, technological world. And guys, we could not complete this program without checking on the chat again and see how you guys are doing. Yes. We have the Solomon group is amazing, says Melanie. Absolutely it is. And we have Soren going now, 3 squirrels. I'm sure I'm missing a point here, but I'm going to read back through this chat, Soren, and I'm going to catch up. Because, dealing with the freaking technology can be fun. And Alejandro says, yes, it is the last one. But like I said, it's the last one of this type of gathering. Much more to come, much more for us to interact, and yes, unexplained phenomena. Thank you. It's the Pixies. It's the Reconnective Healing Pixies. So actually the RH Jam Pixies come to play. They love doing this. It's okay. We let them. Alrighty. So what are 3 things we can take away from our discussion about life purpose. Now, don't think we are going to sugarcoat it, because we are not. And I really want you to remember these things, that whenever we feel we are out of touch with ourselves, we're experiencing this limbo we were talking about before. These are 3 things that perhaps can bring it back into focus for you and help you recognize where this purpose lies, okay? Because even when we say living, just be, just, like Katharina said, life can be difficult. And right now we have this clutter of information coming our way. And you need to be doing this, you need to be doing that. And let's not even get into the toilet paper. That one was for Jillian. These are 3 ways you can help yourself recognize it. Note and observe what is it that truly brings you joy. What are these things? And these things usually take us back to when we were children, when we were childlike. Whenever we've been childlike and experienced joy, that is not something that is coming from what we think needs to make us happy, or the relative happiness of comparing ourselves and what we're experiencing to the happiness of somebody else or their discoveries. It is our own, and we know it because it makes your entire body respond to it. So start by noticing and observing. What is it that makes you truly joyful? And then, you know what? Dare to take a step towards touching this joy. What does that mean? Does it mean that you need to create an agenda? Does it mean that you need to create an action board? I am going to touch my joy this way. No. Here is the point in which you are going to allow yourself perhaps to trying to let go of trying to control. How is it that you're going to achieve this happiness or this joy? Let this joy speak to you directly. And as it speaks and it guides you through your instinct, dare to do as it shows you. Dare to be as it exhorts you to, as it's showing you to, okay? And last but not least, sorry guys, nobody's off the hook, because all the excuses you've come up to this very moment watching the RH Jam for not being in that life's purpose, they're false. They are the trappings. They are the stories we tell ourselves. These are the things we have accrued. These are just the layers to our personal adventure that we've decided we need to put on, like robe upon jacket upon hat. And they diminish our ability to connect with that who we really are and the purpose for which we came back here, purposefully to be alive. A living and reconnective healing and the personal reconnection, and we cannot tell you enough about this. They allow us to recognize and follow this voice, the life's purpose, that directive, that gentleness that rises from each of us through our instinct, and it allows us to be able to follow it and listen and be it or act upon it effortlessly and without hesitation. Remember your purpose. Remember you came here on purpose. And I'll tell you what, the portal will help with your reconnective healing transformation. As a matter of fact, needs to be that next moment, that next step, that next action in living that I wholeheartedly recommend if you are called to be in this adventure of living and living in the frequencies of reconnective healing. Guys, you have rocked the house today. Oh my word, I could not wish for a much more amazing group in the chat room here. You guys rock it. Alina says, this is the way indeed. Lexi says, reconnective healing allows us to follow the voice within, our instincts. Jillian Fleer reminds us, keep your attention on the instinct that is you. That is so true, and Miss Jillian Fleer, we owe each other another RH Jam, and maybe we can talk about how that can be, expanded upon. Hint, hint, is an invitation. Yes, I hope that she says okay. That she says yes, guys. Tell her yes. We want to let you know as well, guys, that this program is possible because of you. All of you who are here in the chat room and everybody else who will come and watch this program, because by doing this, not only are you allowing us to know that this has value in your life, but you're letting other people know that it's valuable for them too. And in watching it, we are truly allowing these frequencies and reconnective healing, the philosophy, art, and science that it is, to expand and to touch the lives of so many people who right now need it more than ever. And we have reached the end of the program. But we will be back next Thursday. We aim to pixies or no pixies, although I suspect pixies will always be part of the jam. What can I tell you? That first hour of the portal is our gift to the world. The reconnection is gifting this hour to the world. There is no commitment. So if you've done it, awesome. That I would encourage you that take a moment and review the portal. Take a segment every other day. See how you feel about it now, for this new perspective that you're living in, right? And if you know somebody who could use this, just send them this link. Gift them this link. Let them start this journey of interaction with these amazing frequencies. Okay, so it's right here. I put the link below in the description. And I want to thank Oliver again. Oliver, I hope that if you're still listening, that you'll come back to the show. We're going to send you an invite. And I hope that you can show us maybe a whole clip of you doing this amazing movement, because I thought it was fascinating. My deepest thanks to Lexi, Alexandra, and Cecilia Sams. You guys are awesome. You really make this program happen. And again, thank you to everyone in the chat. Miss Jillian Fleer, as always, what a pleasure to have you here on board. And I want to remind you guys that we have yoga this Saturday, a premiere at 10:30 on Saturday, our last gathering this Sunday, and you still have a chance to join our Solomon study group. I've put all the links here below, so click away. Find out more. Send us your questions, your suggestions, your commentaries. Where we are in our attention, energy will follow. And if our attention is on these frequencies, then these frequencies just will continue to expand as the atmosphere expands. Right here, right now, that we are engaging with each other live, and beyond to whomever comes afterwards to watch this video. Love you all so much. Have a beautiful week, and I'll see you next Thursday right here on the RH Jam.